Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Nebraska Streetwear. So welcome to another month in review. I kind of like doing these because it helps me think of the good and the bad that happened through the month. And I think I'm going to keep doing these every single month to tell you guys what I've learned and progress that I'm making. And I wrote some notes down for this month. So basically, we did the biggest drop we've ever done for the clothing brand online, and I forgot how many items I released, but it was a significant amount. And what I did this month that I think was successful was I basically re-released a new colorway of a very popular design that we recently did, but we kind of sold out, and I restocked that item. I released an older item from 4 years ago that we made that was also popular at the time. Kind of what I realized, which is interesting, which is going to make this year kind of more fun, is that when I first started the brand, I had a really solid handful of designs that I made that sold really well when I barely had any followers and when my brand was like still up and coming in a sense. And what happened was I sold out of all those items back then, and I mean, there's times where I literally only made like 30 to 50 items or prints of one design. So there's basically that design's non-existent in the world, essentially. There's only a few people that have it. And what I realized was, oh, those are popular designs. Why don't we bring them back? Because I have a way larger audience and they would sell really well. And then people that obviously were not following the brand for so long, they'll have a chance to access those designs that they really wanted, and people were asking me. So I brought back one of the designs. Actually, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It is this one right here, the I Don't Feel a Thing design. It was really popular. And then the last thing I did was I dropped a totally new design that's like, I like it a lot, and I worked hard on it. And actually, you know what? I'll show you that one too. I'm expecting the inventory of it in today, so I'm excited to see what it looks like. But it looks like that. America Held Hostage, just the design theme. So that was a brand new design that we released, and that one sold really well as well. So I had like three kind of things going on at once. Plus, we had a sticker pack and patches, all sorts of stuff. So it was a really big drop. Hats, everything. We had hats, shirts, hoodies, beanies, stickers, patches. So it was a big variety. So I think that was a good recipe for success for a drop. In other drops, I'd have maybe just a shirt and a hoodie and then variants of that. And, we probably would release like 8 items total. But this one was like probably like 25 items or something like that, something crazy. So that went really well. I don't know if I'm going to do a big drop for March though, because we might have like some big things happening. So one of my goals this year, if it's possible, is to get a bigger space, because we're slowly running out of room, and I'm trying to maximize every square inch of the space, but we're getting to a point where it's like getting smaller and smaller. And another new thing obviously that I got this month was that heat press, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, like we like legitimately need a spot to put it if we're going to be doing that process of putting the tags on our t-shirts. So there's that as well. And I could probably squeeze out some space in here for that in the back rooms over there. But it's like, okay, it would be nice to have a bigger space. But with that, it's like, okay, more rent, more this, more that. So I have to weigh the pros and cons of that and figure that out this year. That's going to be a goal. Oh, this was exciting. So I had the most orders I've ever had in a month for this month as well. That happened with the biggest drop, which is cool. I had, I think, almost 100 more orders than I did for my previous record, and that was fun. But the thing that sucked was I was trying really hard to beat my sales record. My best month ever was January 2022. And, obviously not every month you're going to be like growing. Some months you're going to be like this, a little bit up, a little bit down. But I was really close to beating the record. I was only like $1,000 off in sales, and but this month was 3 days shorter than it was in January, right, of last year, because there's 31 days in January. So I probably would have beat the record if the month was longer, which would have been fun. But that was good anyways. I kind of have three metrics for sales that I like to play off of as goals. And when you are running your brand, you should definitely have goals like this or similar. I have total sales in a day. I have a record for that. I have total sales of the month, a record for that. And then I have total number of orders, which is fun. But total number of orders does not always translate to a record number of sales, because obviously, like what if you sold 50 sticker packs and 20 hoodies or something, but then one month you sold 20 hoodies, or you sold 50 hoodies and 20 sticker packs. Obviously, the one with most hoodies sold is going to have a higher total value of products sold rather than total number, that kind of thing. Oh, kind of an interesting mistake that happened this month. I did make a video about that, was the patch thing. So I ordered patches, and I think I don't have them here with me, but you can watch that video below. They put the wrong color border on it, and that was a whole thing. So now I learned, okay, I have to not assume that my suppliers are always going to be acting the same way they acted in the past. I have to reinforce the same thing. So basically, for a tip for you guys, if you have a supplier and they're always doing stuff, don't just like send them something and then just be like, here you go, just do it like you did last time, because they might not do it like you did last time. That might not happen, especially, and let's consider this. Let's say that they hired like new employees or something, or they moved to a new location, or they're under new management. Those are new factors that are coming into that, and that can disrupt what it was like before. So you always have to say your standard information, like, hey, make sure this is like this, make sure you use this material, make sure it's this size. Always have those points on your notes and your spec sheets and your files for your suppliers, so that there's no confusion as to where the problem originated. Was it on your end? Was it on their end? Or was it kind of like a mixture of both? So that's very important. Oh, this was also a funny mistake I made, and I wrote it down. And I'm going to reiterate this again. Any mistake you make in your business, small or large, write it down. Keep track of your problems and mistakes. The type of business that you do not want to be is someone that brushes all of that junk underneath the rug and you kind of forget about it, because you will repeat it, or those mistakes and problems will grow larger. So record them and try to improve from that. Knowing your weaknesses is important as a business owner. Everyone has their own strengths, but you have to know your weaknesses. I think that you should definitely focus on your strengths and build those up, but also don't neglect your weaknesses and let those fester. Take the time to also work on that as well. I think you should definitely do both. So one of the mistakes that I made was I forgot to list an entire item when we did the drop. So I had three colors or three variants of one t-shirt design, and I totally did not list one of them. So when the drop happened, I'm like, man, why is this item not selling? Because usually when we have a drop, there's always, like every item is selling like at some point, some more than others. But this one, I was like, man, no one even bought this color. I wonder why. And it's just a white t-shirt. Everyone loves white t-shirts. And then the next day I was looking, I'm like, you know what? I gotta make sure it's not on here. And then I was looking at my website and it wasn't on there. And I was like, oh crap, I totally forgot. And I went through the settings and I was like trying to figure it out. And it was like in a weird setting on Shopify. And basically nothing was listed for that item. And I just tweaked a couple of things and it got brought up. And then I posted it on my Instagram like, oh, by the way, we have this. And then finally people started to purchase that variant of the t-shirt as well. But that was funny. So I did write that down. And what I'm going to do to avoid that problem is literally have a checklist of items. And you might think, oh, do you really need that? You might, because if you have a brain like me and I'm thinking about 1,000 things at once and we're having a drop with like 25 items or whatever, yeah, you might miss one item, honestly. You might just forget to click one setting on your Shopify store and it's not live. And then when you do the drop, that could be a problem because there could be people that would want to buy that. And then they're like, oh, they don't have this color, so I'm not going to buy this design. And B, you're going to be just having unsold inventory, and that could obviously disrupt cash flow. So make sure that you have a checklist of that. So that's what I'm going to do for the next drop, especially if they're larger drops. If you're only releasing like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, yeah, you probably don't need it because you would definitely know what you're releasing. But if you're releasing a larger amount of items, make sure everything is listed on your web store. That's going to be a help for you guys. Other than that, things have been going pretty good. I'm still keeping up on my health goals. I'm still going to the gym and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think this was a pretty fun month, and I'm really excited for March because that is when it's going to be the 6th year anniversary of opening my web store, like basically starting my brand. And I think I'm going to release a 6-year tee. I'm not sure if I will this year. I might do something different, but that's definitely in the works. And, hopefully I can maybe start to look at getting a larger space and see if I can get into that. If that doesn't happen, I'll explain why. If it does, then that'll be fun to move and do all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of a goal in the back of my mind to look for a larger space. But anyways, hope you guys like this month in review. If you want more of these, leave some comments down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.